Masato, CEO of Staff Driven Dental, and the Dental Road Warrior, returning for episode 49 in the series. Today I want to get into more on case presentation. As a segue from last episode, I would get into talking about creating a sales environment in your practice. And I had a big demand for expanding on that and getting more into the nitty-gritty of the part of case presentation and treatment acceptance. So I like to come up with simple things that people can understand when it comes to a very complicated subject. Now, there are books written about sales. There are endless lectures written about sales, and people talk about sales all the time. What you have to understand, though, in dealing with human beings, every sales process is different. Dealing their personalities, everybody's got different responses when you talk about money and we talk about health, and everybody's good at it or not good at it to varying degrees. And it's not just about training. It's just ability. They come down to some what I call the 5 C's to case presentation and closing. All right, I just come up with 5 C's, easy things that you can think about for case presentation and closing, and this will help you basically maybe compartmentalize your thinking a little bit to try to maybe make it be easier to understand the subject. Okay, so here are the 5 C's when it comes down to case presentation and closing. First C I like to use is confront. I've talked about confront in this series before. And confront means to be able to face up to people without avoiding. And that's the key thing here, because you know what, if you're not good at confronting people about money and about their health and really getting down to what's best for them and being there comfortably with people when you know you're going to get resistance when it comes to you always get pushback, even if they need it when it comes to people's health, more than we should. It's natural. That's what people do. You have to have someone that's got the high ability to, and it is ability, to confront and face up to people and whatever pushback they're going to give and barriers that are going to come up when it comes to whether it's insurance and other objections that you're going to get there. So a high confront person is a person who you want doing case presentation that can be in these situations and do this. All right. So confront is the key. All right. And also someone who can make people, confront their money and confront their health issues and do something about it. All right, so that's C number 1. C number 2 is certainty. Look, you can't sell anything from doubt. If you are doubtful and doubting the need for your treatment, doubting the need for a patient to get this treatment in your office, or that they should pay for it, or that's valuable, or it's worth it, you already have beat before you get started. I mean, certainty is the key. All right. I mean, and when you're recommending treatment to somebody, certainty is important too. People don't buy from uncertainty. You know, if you're wishy-washy, well, it could be this or it could be that, and maybe let me give you 14 different options to look at, and we're going to watch this, and and they're like, well, they're about a second opinion. All these different things, add uncertainty into the process. Nobody buys from doubt. If they have a doubt about the value of your service and the value of your dentistry and what you're presenting, they ain't buying. And if you're doubtful and have doubts in your mind about the value of your dentistry and them spending money in your office, again, you already got 2 strikes against you going in. And I often, challenge my clients to say, hey, does everyone feel that the best thing a patient could ever do is to spend money in your practice? And that's got to be the state of mind operative going in, that whoever's presenting your dentistry to somebody, whether it's you or a treatment coordinator, I'll get into that a little bit later, that they have absolute certainty that's the best thing they could possibly do is spend money on this treatment to take care of their health in your practice, not on something else, not somewhere else, on you. Okay, so certainty is C number 2. C number 3, communication. All right, look, it should go without saying that if you don't have good communication skills and you can't talk to people effectively, you're not going to be effective at closing them on treatment. All right, and really, a person who's a good communicator builds a lot of likingness when you talk to them. Like, I like this person by the way they talk to me. They build a lot of agreement with people when they speak with them. They don't create disagreements in the conversation. Okay, I mean, the opposite of agree is disagree. When you're communicating with somebody, you want to get them to agree. Wouldn't you agree that the best thing you possibly do is to spend money on your health? Wouldn't you agree that if we left this alone and didn't treat it right now, it's only going to get worse and it's going to cost you more money later? See, getting agreement, the more you get them agreeing with you in your communication, the better. The more they're disagreeing, the farther away they are from closing and accepting treatment. Okay, so that's another way, getting agreement. And having the ability, like I said before, it just to be able to communicate this effectively is critical. So communication skills, very important in being able to speak to somebody and actually talking to somebody on a way that basically they get the big idea. Okay, control, the other C, fourth C, control. What does control mean? Control means the ability to get the sale process, when you're presenting what you're presenting, to go in a positive direction. You're controlling the conversation to go toward them accepting treatment, as opposed to the patient controlling the conversation with whether it's the objections, whether they think they know it all, whether they want to they think when they know what's best for them when it's not best for them, just going down a direction and you don't want it to go down. They're controlling the whole conversation about insurance, and it's all about insurance. Again, when they have control, not going in your direction. Control, when you have the control, is going in your direction, in a positive direction, toward them accepting treatment and being healthy and being getting under care in your practice. Okay, so control is the fourth C of case presentation and treatment acceptance. The fifth one is commitment. Now, you got to get people committed. And I went over the 4 commitments to treatment before. When I in an earlier episode when I talked about you got to get them to say yes, and you got to get them to sign something, and you got to get them to pay something, and you got to get them to schedule. All right. But commitment, you got to get those 4 commitments. That falls under that thing. And money, unfortunately, is the key here. Just no one is committed to anything until they pay something. That's unfortunate. This is a society we live in. But when you have money of some sort, of any sort, a deposit, that's the beauty of Care Credit, or one of the other third-party financing system you want to use out there. It gets them committed because they paid something, and when they pay something, they usually more than not, for the majority of the time, go through with it, and they're showing up because they paid something. So getting commitment through cash, all right, is the key. Maybe the 6th one should be cash, all right. But that's another big part, and we never understanding that a yes is not enough, and a verbal promise is not enough. We got to get them committed. So signing something and getting them to pay something very help move in a direction to getting people committed to going through with things. All right. So, and all of this, again, I mentioned this earlier about a treatment coordinator. Look, who's really doing this presentation? Who is the one that has these 5 C's going for them and is doing this? Is it you or is it another person? I can tell you historically that no one will sell you better than somebody else. Why? Because what other people say about you, it's much more powerful than you can say about yourself. All right, and your practice. So when you have a woman doing the presentation that works in your office, who's your superstar, I like to call him a rainmaker. A rainmaker in your practice is a mover and a shaker and a rainmaker. And someone that makes money happen, and they're good at talking about it, and they enjoy talking about it, and it's like a game for them. They make a game out of making you money. They got a bonus attached to it. They have an incentive to get this person to close, and they're doing it from the right place, right? It comes from their heart. They want these people to get well, and they want them to take care of themselves and get good dentistry. But they want to win, and the measurement of their success comes from how much money they're collecting and getting from people closing cases. And there's a certain if you have that kind of person, hold on to them. I can tell you, they're one in thousands to have a person like that's that into closing cases and making you money, hitting goals. So I would always recommend. I know you can do it, docs. A lot of you can talk money. I'm not saying you shouldn't be involved in the initial presentation of things, but it's better if you hand it off and transition to a powerhouse treatment coordinator, and also have a place to do a consult. Maybe a 7th C we're up to right now. Have a place to do a consult. Set up an environment that we can do these consults, and I think I might have alluded to this last episode, where you can put them in a situation that they can close by being in a comfortable environment and make an informed decision about their health care. All right, so that consult be done in a place so they can discuss money and make this buying decision with having all the information they need in a non-threatening environment, when they can really be focused on everything, and they can really be focused on the communication, and separate out from being a patient and getting treatment, and now being focused on actual sale, which is really what it is. I mean, again, we're not telling patients I got to move you in this room because I got to sell you now, but that's really what's happening. All right. If you notice, when you walk into a car dealership and you're making a $40,000-$50,000 buying decision, or even less, $30,000 buying decision on a car, and they're not trying to sell you on the showroom floor or out in the parking lot. I mean, the process is happening out there, but the ultimate close happens when you are comfortably sitting there at the desk with the computer and all the information about that vehicle to make an informed decision about their healthcare, and they're working out financial options and things like that. That's what having these consult rooms do. All right. And if you say, well, I don't have the space in my practice for a consult room, I always joke around, well, doc, you just lost your office. All right. Because truthfully, you shouldn't need an office. You can double as your consult room if it's set up properly. And believe me, I've seen a lot of doctors' offices. They double as like dumps where we dump stuff in the office and can't even move in there. I get it. But that's if you lack space, clean up that room. All right. Get it set up to be dual purpose, like your office and also a consult room. To bring people in there and sit down, it makes a big difference in this process and helping us relay these 5 C's, maybe now 7, of case presentation, treatment, acceptance. All right. So I hope this was helpful to you and going under tunnels and having alerts go off all the way here today. But hey, that's just a Dental Road Warriors. People know I'm not in studio doing this on a green screen. All right. So if you're enjoying these, please share them. And thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.